Greetings, people of the world! Matthew back with you here in Overall Autism for the continuation of Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn. It is year 2, day 25 for EDSS in the Realm Reborn. And last time, we were starting to get information on how we might be able to take the fight to the dreaded Primal Leviathan, who's out in the sea awaiting our attack. And we got some assistance here from a genius Rogadin, Marshal Enzir Slafferson of the Maelstrom. And so, with his assistance, we now have a vessel that consists of 2 ships that are bound together, which are going to be needed in order for us to take the fight to Leviathan himself. So, now that we are prepared for our departure, let's speak with the Marshal, and take on his level 50 challenge entitled Lord of the Hole. Einzar stands ready to send you and your off to your encounter with the Lord of the Hole. Ah, I know that look. You are ready. Having been constructed in some haste, the Hole Eater may not be pretty, but I assure you she is capable. She has been fitted with what our friends at Nordic and Vimelis are calling an elemental converter. Assuming the thing works, it will use the power of the corrupted crystals on board to rob Leviathan of his hold over water. Depending on how the battle unfolds, you may well need to activate the device manually. Keep that in mind. And so now that we're all here, it is expected that the Sahagin and the Thralls will attempt to come to Leviathan's defense. Accordingly, the Maelstrom shall once again employ diversions. Thancred and Nishola, I would have you assist in this effort. If it is to fulfill its purpose, your diversionary force must not want for numbers. By your leave, I too would volunteer my blade. We would welcome it. Having seen you fight in Sapsa, I dare say the fishbacks will find your presence highly diverting. Thancred and Nishola, if you would join the 3rd levy, and Lady Yugiri, the 5th. And so away they go. And as for me, what words do I have for the man who has made a sport of slaying gods? Only these. Go warily, for the sea is an unforgiving place to wage war. May the navigator guide you through the storm, warrior of light. I would echo the Admiral's sentiments, and add a few words of mine own. Know that we all have the utmost faith in you, Edie. May the crystal bless and keep you. Of course, ladies, it'll be my honor to slay this primal for you. But of course, I won't be doing it alone. We now have access to the Hole Eater, the fight against Leviathan. And so now that we have access to it, let's go ahead and make it available. So, down here at the bottom of the list we should find it. Here we are. So, let's go ahead and get it activated. So I'll need to be putting on my helmet for this. So we're all ready to go. Now, it's just a question of how long. They say 6 minutes, but we'll see how long it takes. So, be back in a moment, and then we will depart on our journey. Our ship now sails out to sea in order to make our attack. Leviathan in the sights. Marshal, we await your command. Cannons are at the ready. Firing a few warning shots on Leviathan. Meanwhile, on the twin ship, the Hole Eater. Retaliation! Like Leviathan saying, do you really want a piece of me? And the answer is, yes we do. And thus, Leviathan goes under the water to launch his attack. All set to go. And behind me, our field of battle. I'll come back in one piece. I swear it. Myself and 7 others. Hi, Leviathan. I wish I could meet you under better circumstances, but to be honest, I wish I wasn't meeting you at all. Nonetheless, you must be defeated. And as he unleashes his roar, it's on. And it turns out I'm not the only one who's new to this for the first time. So, if we're ready, let's do this. So, first thing to do against Leviathan is just get right up in his face and go. For the initial part of the fight, you can pretty much do whatever damage you need to do to him. He's not all that hard. You just have to know when to change your strategy and change up your attack. And I think I'm not like I said, I don't think I'm the only one that's new to this. So once Leviathan dives underwater, he's then going to make a spout over there. And what's going to happen is that he's going to use the waves to move everyone from one side of the ship to another. You don't get knocked off at all, so don't worry about getting knocked off. That only happens on extreme mode, but not in this version. In this version, you're perfectly fine, so just keep attacking. But you want to make sure that you keep an eye on behind you, because there will be ads coming as we go along in this fight. Now you notice that we're also attacking both Leviathan's head and tail. It's because they both, when one takes damage, so does the other. So, because of that, regardless of what you destroy first, Leviathan will be defeated. So now, here's where we see the ads coming in. Gotta get rid of them. 2 Wavespine Sahagins. You may have also noticed the elemental converter that the Marshal was referring to as well. That's of course also going to play a factor in this fight, because its meter is currently at 100, but as we go on, we'll start seeing new ads that will decrease the effectiveness of the converter. So you need to make sure that it's at a certain number, that it's a certain efficiency, or else you won't be able to survive Leviathan's ultimate attack. Keep this in mind while you are fighting. Should be seeing... Okay, yes, there's some new Sahagin now on the scene. There you are. Try and take them out as fast as we can, because these guys mean business, and as long as they're on the field, they mean trouble. Just have your tanks make sure that they keep both parts of Leviathan distracted so that you aren't taking any unnecessary damage. Right, the Sahagin are down. Avoid that splash. Try not to get caught up in that or else you'll take damage. He returns, and he's gonna throw us back again. Alright, here we go. Right. These are the enemies you really have to worry about, the gyre spumes, because they'll start drawing energy away from the elemental converters, so you have to destroy these things as fast as possible. If you don't destroy them all, and you don't get the elemental converter back up to a certain number, you party will be defeated by the ultimate attack that Leviathan is capable of doing. And I don't feel good about the fact that I'm not getting much assistance, because there's still 2 spumes out there, and we need to destroy them all. As you can see, the elemental converter is out of energy. Don't worry about this attack, just keep going. One more to go. One more spew to go, and then we can move on. But yeah, I'm a man that's fighting solo right now, and that's not good. Man who's fighting solo right now against these spumes, and that's not good, because we need these spumes destroyed before we can see the elemental converter truly start to get its energy back. This thing isn't powered enough, as I keep saying. If this thing does not have enough power, when Leviathan unleashes his ultimate attack, we are screwed. Careful not to use the converter too quickly. Now we have to find out if this thing had enough energy for us to survive. General rule of thumb is that you need 30 to survive. Fortunately, 24 kept us in the fight. Kept us all in the fight. But yeah, if I got help like a little quicker, like I think we might have been able to get more energy off of it, and we wouldn't have had to take so much damage. Nonetheless, we can continue on. You can see we're definitely getting thrown around. By this point in time, in extreme mode, when Leviathan does his ultimate attack, the rails that are protecting us, they'll have disappeared. They'll have been knocked clean off the boat. And then once after that happens, it basically becomes a Titan fight. You go off the edge, you die, and you don't get to come back into the fight. Thankfully, in this version, that's not something that can happen to you. Going after the ads because they're always a threat, especially these casters can always give you a hard time. Ooh, yeah, there's damage for you. Ooh, Sagan. Oh crap, I ran right into his special ability known as Hysteria. Hysteria means you can't attack and you're just wandering all over the place until the effect comes off. What is that disaster? Yeah, it turns out I'm not the only one who's walking through that. Oh, man. And that definitely set us back a bit. It definitely set us back. It's not devastating, but it definitely set us back a bit. So, let me break Comedy. That could have been better. That could have caused more damage. We do have this guy close to the end. Yeah, typically a battle against Leviathan will only need one round if you've done it right. So, it's only a matter of time now before we can claim our victory over the dreaded Leviathan. In fact, we won't even need to worry about the ads this time around because if we cause so much damage, we should be perfectly fine. Even getting paralyzed isn't going to bother me because we've got it. Leviathan is slain. And he's going back to the depths from whence he came. Soy bag ugly. And he doesn't splash back in, but he's dead anyway. Victory is ours. Let's go ahead and claim our victory. Yeah, we don't get any treasures from this particular challenge, but it doesn't matter. We reign victorious, and that's what matters. So, let's get back to shore. Let us get back to shore swiftly and quickly. So, yeah, we don't even have to stay here in Morabi Dry Docks. We can just go right back to Limsa Lominsa and let the commander know, or rather in this case, the Admiral know, that we have earned the victory over Leviathan. And certainly it's going to be a giant weight off her mind to know that we have indeed succeeded. So let us get ourselves back to Limsa Lominsa to bring good tidings to my superior officer. Alright. Back to dress uniform. And make sure we go the correct direction. And yeah, let's put some spring in our step. To get ourselves over to Sergeant Xanthel to let him know we've returned. Knowing the urgency of your business, I thought it best to refrain from making conversation during your past few visits. But today I will permit myself a few words. I feel truly privileged to have had the honor of admitting that heroes such as you. You're an inspiration to us all, sir. And on that note, the Admiral awaits you in the command room, with a wink for some reason. That wink better not mean what I think it does. I'm not that kind of guy. Admiral, I have returned, madam.
We Lominsans are sworn to strive, till sea swallows all. And swallow all it would have, had Leviathan prevailed. That we still strive now, we owe in no small part to you. Not for the first time, you have delivered Limsa Lominsa from the wrath of a primal. Never has our nation known a stouter ally.
Or Gridania or Olaf, for that matter.
On behalf of my people, I give you my humblest thanks.
Of course, Admiral. Proud to serve under you.
'Tis meet that I give thanks to old Mistbeard, too, for his fine solution. Whatever else he may have been, 'tis clear he was a resourceful soul. Would that I had a man like him in my service.
But instead, you have the Warrior of Light and your very intelligent Marshal, I must say.
Before I set foot in these lands, I had no inkling that the people of Eorzea contended with such mighty foes. Suffice it to say, their existence came as something of a shock, as did the idea that they could be defeated. This experience has served to remind me of the vastness of the world, and the boundless potential of man.
That it has.
Though I am but a refugee in this realm, I would fain be of use to you in your fight. Know that I am tutored in one of the foremost combat arts of the Far East. It may seem outlandish to the Eorzean eye, but should any of your people care to learn, I would be pleased to initiate them.
And I will see to it that they are grateful. I have no doubt that your knowledge and skills will serve us well. Besides, your art is not so outlandish as you think. Would you not agree, Master Thancred?
Yeah, he's definitely been a quick study.
Naught escapes your searching eye, Admiral. Few are privy to this information, but Limsa Lominsa is home to a certain secret fraternity. Its members are trained in a form of combat not unlike your own. By my judgment, it should not be beyond such individuals to adapt to the techniques I witnessed you employing with such admirable deftness.
I am heartened to hear this. I too noted a kinship between your style and mine own, though it seemed to me that you fought differently in the beginning.
Why is that?
I suppose I did. What can I say? I'm a man of many talents.
Well, he has proven himself to be just
Though
that.
you may labour to believe it, Thancred was once something of a scoundrel who fraternized with the criminal class in these parts.
But he was given amnesty, I guess.
You jest, of course.
Yeah, in front of the Admiral?
But for a chance encounter with Alphino's grandsire, he might never have left Limsa Lominsa, or received an education in Sharlayan, or taken up his post in Uldar, which is where he trained in the blade, lest you wonder.
Are you going to blush, Thancred?
Nymphilia, please!
It would seem there is more to you than meets the eye, Master Thancred.
Lady Yugiri, I am told that you and yours came to Eorzea seeking permanent resettlement, and that many domins have since been engaged as frontier hands at Revenant's Toll. Moderna is many things, but a place of refuge it is not. Know that I would like nothing better than to furnish your people with a new home here on Lominsan soil. Alas, racked by instability as we are, our nation is in no fit state to take you in. Yet I'll not have it said that we turned a blind eye to your suffering. Until such time as we can do more, I pledge to send provisions.
Sounds like a good deal.
We are in your debt, Admiral. I realize that it scarce qualifies as repayment, but if it please you, I shall set about sharing my martial knowledge with your people at once.
And now that the meeting is over, what are you pondering there,
You wished a
Admiral?
word in private.
Now with Fishtola? Well, we know these two have had quite the conversation before.
The better not to spoil the festive mood. History repeats itself, Admiral. As the kobolds stood before them, the Sahagin resorted to summoning their god over a territorial feud. They acted in self-preservation. It may be that the Sahagin initiated this particular clash, But how it begins does not interest me so much as how it ends.
Yeah, Lady Yugiri's waiting ears.
I am aware that man bears part of the blame for the Primal's existence. Nor am I ignorant of the Sahagins' reason for acting. They sought to secure a place to breed and multiply that their kind might survive. Self-preservation, as you say. But we have as much right to live and thrive as they. If our own survival is threatened, are we to lay down our arms and welcome oblivion? Nay.
And so you kill, that you might live. Yet if living is a right, then that right belongs to all peoples, be they men or beastmen.
Seems like Ashola is seeking equality, or the hopes for it.
I'll not deny your reasoning, but when a storm gathers, it falls to me to see my people safely through it. That is my duty, and I shall do it.
As must we all, Admiral. Stay the course, then. But know that it will lead to no good end.
And so away she goes. Lady Yugiri.
Man has ever put himself first and foremost. To justify his actions, he clads himself in the armor of righteousness, though it be a fancy of his own making. In this, mayhap the Garleans and we Domans are not so different.
Well, the Admiral's nation is safe for now.
As a raging sea. If we are to keep our heads above the waves, we cannot scruple to drown the man next to us. When hopes of coexistence founder, strength must determine who has the greater right to live.
And with that, the Lord of the Hole challenge is finished. We get our gil plus some extra little items. So, before we bring this episode to a close, as was discussed by Lady Yugiri, she wished to share her talents of martial prowess with the people of Limsa Lominsa. Now, this was something that was not available in patch 2.2, which is where you fight Leviathan. It only became available through patch 2.4 for those who went south to the Fisherman's Guild, and from there made their way over to this particular place right here. Down here in the southeast of the lower docks. By coming and speaking to a man known as Loanword. Yeah, it's kind of a wordy one to say, but for this one, I'm going to first of all, I want to change attire because I want to well, not that attire. Yeah, we've already used that one. I want to change back to my my original attire, which will be the stuff that I came wearing into Eorzea. And so, let's find the remaining items. Here we are, and the boots. So we'll go ahead and add this list for now, but that's going to change in a moment. After we speak with Loanword. There's naught behind these convent doors for a worldly type like you, Gov. We're the dutiful sisters of the Edelweiss, all pure and saintly, like. Now bugger off. Hang about? Ain't you that cove that goes by the name of Edie? Yeah, I am. And turns out I'm not the only one who has interest in being here. Ha! I knew it! We like to snilch all the risen talents, and from what I hear, you're head and shoulders above the rest. If you can handle yourself half as well as they say, you might well be of use to us. I'll forget all that sisters or the Edelweiss bollocks, that's just a bit of fun to fob off the curious cause. We're a guild of rogues, mate, and it's mainly all Marxists does the praying. Me and mine work in the shadows of Limsa, taking a keen edge to the rooks and cacklers while earned themselves a million. We don't tout for members, but every now and again we might offer you a promising cove in our place of ranks. If you're interested in joining us, tip us your daddles, and we'll put in a Hilton in each one, just like the gods intended. So what do you say? Fancy learning a new trade? Well, for this purpose, and to demonstrate, we're gonna enter the Rogues Guild. Go to see our keen, but I should probably warn you on a few points before you dive in. When most guilds take pride in turning their members into the best bloody candlestick makers they can be, we only care about getting the job done. And the job ain't pretty. You become one of us, and you'll soon be neck deep in scum and knife fights. So if you're looking to scamper across rooftops and build dandies or they're blunt, you best take up with a different crew. Think on that, and come back if you're still keen. But we are still keen. For this challenge entitled, My First Daggers, Loanword would have you reaffirm your desire to join the Rogues Guild. I didn't scare you off then, Benny. They told me it was a mettlesome cove, and so it's proved. You'll need every ounce of that metal soon enough. Now step inside and have a pratter with Jack. He's an upright man, the master of the guild. So now we may freely enter the Rogues Guild. Speak with Loanword whenever you wish to gain an admittance to the guild's headquarters. And so we will do just that. We are looking to head inside. So I'm not going to show off everything that happens with the Rogues Guild, but this is the place where people come to learn the style of fighting that was demonstrated by Lady Yugiri and Thancred in the last few episodes. So, let's come here and speak with Jack, the Guildmaster. Hello there, Jack. Oi, I'm the one they call Jack. Now I'm surprised you heard of me. Perhaps you'd be good enough to tell me your name, along with that of the kindly Curvis told you mine. I just happen to be the Warrior of Light, if that pleases you. Oi! The famous CD! Oh, Lonnie Lapatch didn't let you in, did he? He got third blade for shite, but that one I don't miss not when it comes to sizing up a dimber call for the stalling. Just one thing, you ain't a pirate, are you? No, but it certainly looks like you're dressed like one. And you have my hair color too. Well, and it's all over your clothing. Well then, it's time you was stole to the rogue. Put on your best beta cases and I'll swear you in myself when you're ready. Now I could fill you with warsals with the storied history of our guild, but that's just about wides and wind. The most important thing, the only thing, we care about is getting the job done. Now most folk, and I'm assuming you're among them, know that not long after Lominsa's founding, the city was overrun by a motley collection of pirates and thieves. But as wild as that lot were, it soon became clear that they'd all end up killing each other if they didn't lay down a few rules. An unspoken code of conduct, as it were. 1. You don't bite the purses of your fellow Lominsans. 2. You don't rook a crew out of their spoils. And 3. You don't trade coals like they was chattel. I'll admit the finer points of the code are might murky, but most agree on those 3 at least. Now you might be thinking none that amounts to a sack of dillberries now that the Admiral's outlawed piracy, but in the back alleys and black markets where Merweb's script ain't so tight, the code's still alive and well. And just as the laws enforced by the Yellow Jackets, the code is regulated by us rogues. Where we go with the shadows of darkest and hand out justice to them as break the code. Some roam-sucked Oaks Cove steals goods from their own core, and we steal him back. That's the job, my natty lad. Of course, we don't hope the Twigwind Blade Works called for neither. You'll see there's more than our dagger play than just sticking calls with a pointy end. We'll waken a mark with a poison, fade away and strike in the documents, whatever it takes to get the work done. Well, lady, what do you say to that? Got the guts to do Rogue's job? Well, we'll say that we do, but of course, we're not going to continue to follow up on this. Alright then. First off, we'll have to get your kit sorted out. A rogue needs to be light on his dew-beaters to stay on a mark's trail. The job might have you fighting across a deck or even through a mob, and the last thing you want is a bleeding great axe what hooks itself on every rope and post. That's why we stick to daggers. They let you slip through the streets just as easily as they slip through a rook's ribs. Here, take these stabbers and let's see how they look on you. Just don't get so excited with your new toys that you forget to dress for the role. You'd be surprised at how many colts come back to me in their bloody small clothes. Well, thankfully, I took the necessary precautions. So now we have unlocked the rogue. So let's go ahead and equip these new weapons to Edie and give you a taste of what they look like. So now equipped with a pair of daggers, let's show them off. Now these are just simple basic daggers that will serve the purpose when needed, only for those who choose to go all the way. For those who do go all the way, as I've mentioned before in a previous video earlier in Year 2, for those who take on the challenges of the Rogues Guild, they can ultimately level up to become ninjas. And so that is ultimately the enhanced warrior class of the rogue. So for those who go into this particular battle class with daggers blazing as opposed to guns blazing, that is ultimately what you will achieve if you choose to complete the enhanced warrior class. But of course, Edie being the warrior of light that he is, we need him to stay as great an Azure Dragoon as he's always been. So, just wanted to demonstrate this for you before we call this episode, and so next time we will get back to completing the 2.2 patch, because there's not much left for us to do. So, with that, I'd like to thank everyone for watching the continuation of Let's Play Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn, and when I join you again, we will complete patch 2.2 and get ourselves ready for some extra side challenges therein. So until next time everyone, this is Matthew at Novora Autism, saying take care, and I'll see you soon.